everybody, it's Rachel. Thanks to all of those who have stopped by, those that have subscribed, and have been interested in hearing some things that I've had to say. As you can probably see, this is a multi-video day because a lot of stuff has been going on and that I wanted to talk about it. So the one person I'm going to be talking about today is very, very different from me. I've never mentioned this person before. Is going to be Bam Margera. So some of you may not be familiar with him and others of you might be. That's why you've clicked on my video. Bam Margera was very famous when I was in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s. He was a part of Jackass, and he also had his own show, Viva La Bam. So he was really popular. That's how I was kind of aware of him. I never really watched Jackass or Viva La Bam, but whenever you would turn on MTV, it was on, and I, like a lot of people of my generation, the TRL generation, I watched MTV a lot. So, it's not unusual that he was kind of in the periphery of my mind. And he was also a pretty famous skateboarder back in the day as well. That's how he kind of came to prominence, was from his skateboarding. So over the past few years, he's been in and out of the news, unfortunately, for things that are not so positive. He has had a very, very serious drug and alcohol problem that has actually even caused him not to be in the last Jackass movie because the people that are involved with Jackass, Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, really can't take it anymore. And I've seen a couple podcasts with Steve-O where he kind of talks about Bam and how, he's concerned and wants him to get sober because Steve-O, I think as many people might know, has also, had a very serious drug problem and is now sober and has been sober for a long time. And he wants that for Bam because, it's his friend. And, Steve-O himself has benefited from sobriety, and he wants Bam to be able to do the same thing. And that's how I'm going to be referring to him as Bam, because that's kind of how he was known publicly, as Bam. And he's kind of on a pathway of destruction. And he's been in and out of the news probably over the past couple months for really, really erratic behavior. He was arrested for assaulting his brother, and that was probably about a month ago. He was married, and his wife separated from him. She filed for divorce and asking for child and spousal support. She, justifiably so, in my opinion, both personal and professional, has kept that child away from him. And this is a little kid. This kid is probably like 4 years old, and somebody that is demonstrating erratic behavior and with involving drugs and alcohol has no business being anywhere near a 4-year-old boy. And in the past, he was kind of on the run. He was with his girlfriend, and there were concerns that maybe they were doing drugs together, and they were also traveling with a little child as well, who was roughly the same age as Bam's own son. And he very recently went on, it was Twitter or Instagram, I'm not really sure, basically saying that if he doesn't get to see his son, he's just going to smoke crack until he dies, which alarmed a lot of people. As I think, as anybody knows, crack cocaine is a very dangerous drug. It is a very serious drug. It can, kill you. It can destroy your life. It can make you sick, especially too because, crack cocaine is like cooked cocaine. And, it can be cut with different substances when they're cooking it, which can make it even more deadly. You're talking things like fentanyl, other things that could be put into the rock. And that alarmed a ton of people that was what was going on. And, people were wanting to look for him, try to find him because of this concern. And apparently he was located in LA today over at Danny Trejo's taco restaurant. And this is from TMZ, I read the article that apparently he was just being very erratic, very strange with the police officers that were trying to talk with him. And he had an evaluation done, and based upon that, it was determined that he needed to have a 5150 hold. And so that is where he is right now. He is currently in a psychiatric facility, and they can only hold him for 3 days. And at that point, he would be released, or if he wanted to stay, he could stay. Now, he has been in and out of rehab. He's been court ordered to go to rehab. He's run away from rehab, been brought back, run away again, brought back. So this is a person who just has severe drug and alcohol problems, which is a shame. You know, anybody who is struggling like that, it is sad. And especially when it is so public to see. But I think the real lesson that can be learned here is that Bam's story is not unusual. This happens everywhere, all over the United States. And I'm sad to say that I have run into situations like this, you know, in my own practice, where you have somebody that is just so erratic, you know, from drugs, that they don't even know what they're doing. And they think they're doing the right thing, but they're not. And because, you know, they're so far gone on what substances they're on that they can't even think straight. They can't even know for sure what they're doing. And I think that's what's happening here. You know, my guess is that probably if he was clear and didn't have those substances in his system, he would probably be making better choices. And I do think it's the right thing that his wife is keeping this child from him. And I understand that he wants to see his son. Any parent wants to be able to see their child. It is only natural. But when you are behaving in this way, when you're tweeting erratically, writing really dangerous things, when you're, you know, assaulting people, running around the country, it is in the child's best interest not to have you around. Even though you love your child, sometimes you have to stay away from them in order for them to be safe and to be healthy, which stinks, but it's the right thing. And I do think that this child needs to be kept away from him until he gets sober, so that he can have a meaningful relationship with this child. And that's what both of them deserve. The parent and the child both deserve to have a wonderful, meaningful relationship with one another. But you can't do that when you're under the influence. And so I sincerely hope that, you know, this 5150 hold leads to something positive for Bam, that he is able to get the help he clearly needs and actually follow through with it this time. And if that's the case, maybe he can move forward and have that relationship with his son that he desperately wants. But who knows? So I'm going to continue to watch this as well, because I feel bad in a way for him. I don't like to see anybody like this. And he's just gone so far down the rabbit hole that he can no longer see the forest for the trees, and he clearly needs a lot of help. So hopefully this will be his rock bottom, and he can move forward and have a peaceful life. So we'll see. We'll keep it locked on here. But as always, thank you so much. And if you are so inclined, leave a comment below. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.